You know, a lot of people mix these two up, but introversion and social anxiety are actually completely different things. And you know what really shows the difference? Watch what happens when they meet someone they're attracted to. That's when everything becomes crystal clear. So first, let's talk about introversion. If you're an introvert, it doesn't mean you're scared of people. It just means that social interaction drains your batteries. You recharge by spending time alone. Think of it like this. After a party or a busy day with lots of people, you feel exhausted and you just need some quiet time to feel like yourself again. Introverts can totally handle social situations. They might prefer deep conversations with a few close friends over big crowded events, but they're not anxious about it. They are not worried about being judged or making mistakes. They just found it's tiring. And that's perfectly normal. It's just how their brain is wired. Now, social anxiety? That's a whole different story. This isn't about energy levels. It's about fear. People with social anxiety are genuinely afraid of being watched, judged, or rejected by others. Even simple interactions can trigger intense panic. Imagine having to speak in front of a group, or even just talking to a stranger at a coffee shop. For someone with social anxiety, that can cause sweating, racing hearts, shaking hands, or feeling like their mind just goes completely blank. They desperately want to connect with people, but the fear holds them back. They might rehearse conversations over and over, or avoid social situations entirely, even when it hurts their relationships or careers. But here's where it gets really interesting. What happens when they meet someone they like? When an introvert has a crush, they become this gentle observer. They'll find small reasons to be around that person. Maybe they sit closer in class, maybe they ask a casual question about something. They're not running away, but they're also not coming on too strong. They are just carefully moving closer. You'll notice they pay attention to the little things. They remember what that person said last week. They noticed their favorite coffee order. And when they show they care, it's through thoughtful actions rather than grand gestures. Simple texts like, "Did you get home okay?" Or, "I saw this and thought of you." Their affection is steady and sincere. When they're talking to their crush, they might be a bit more careful with their words, maybe a little quieter than usual, slightly nervous in a sweet way. But they are not panicking. They are present. They can hold a conversation. And after they left, they might replay the interaction in their minds with a smile, thinking about what was said, feeling hopeful. The key thing? They are not afraid of the person. They're just afraid of rushing things, of disrupting the natural flow of getting to know each other. Now, when someone with social anxiety has a crush, oh man, this is where everything amplifies. Their brain basically treats their crush as a threat level 10 situation. They want to get closer, they really do. But their bodies has other plans. You'll see them do this contradictory dance. They'll deliberately avoid eye contact even though they want nothing more than to look at that person. When their crush walks nearby, their heart starts racing, palms get sweaty, and they might actually turn away or suddenly become very interested in their phone. The more they like someone, the more nervous they become. With other people, they might manage okay, but with their crushes? Total system overload. They stumble over words, their face turns red, their mind goes blank mid-sentence. It's like their brain is screaming danger, when really it should be feeling excited. And here's the tragic part. They often come across as cold or uninterested when they're actually dying inside with nervousness. Their crush might think they don't care, when in reality, they're thinking, "God, are they looking at me? What do I do with my hands? Did I just say something stupid?" After any interaction, they'll spend hours analyzing every single word, convincing themselves they messed up, wondering if the person thinks they're weird. One neutral comment from their crush becomes "they definitely hate me" in their mind. The core difference? For an introvert, their crush is someone they want to slowly get to know. For someone with social anxiety, their crush becomes the person whose rejection they fear the most. So the more they like them, the more they panic and pull away. Now, if you're watching this and thinking, wait, I do both things, that's actually really common. A lot of people assume they're just introverted when they might actually be dealing with social anxiety, or vice versa. The behaviors can look similar on the surface, but the internal experience is completely different. Think about it this way. An introvert around their crush feels cautious but hopeful. Someone with social anxiety feels terrified but trapped. One is choosing to take things slow, the other is paralyzed by fear of rejection. And here's something important to understand. You can be an introvert without having social anxiety. You can genuinely enjoy your alone time and still feel confident in social settings. But social anxiety often makes people look introverted because they are avoiding interaction out of fear, not preference. So when it comes to that person you like, ask yourself, are you taking your time because you want to build something real and meaningful? Or are you pulling away because you're convinced they'll reject you? If you're an introvert, your challenge is just being a bit braver about showing your feelings, maybe moving a little faster than feels comfortable. You've got the confidence, you just need to trust the process. But if you're dealing with social anxiety, if you find yourself literally running away from someone you care about, if every interaction leaves you spiraling with what ifs and worst case scenarios, if you're missing chances with people who might actually like you back because the fear is just too overwhelming, that's not just shyness. That's something worth working on with a professional. Understanding the difference matters. Because if you're introverted, you just need to find someone who appreciates your steady, thoughtful approach to love. But if it's social anxiety, you can actually learn strategies to manage that fear, so you don't have to keep watching opportunities slip away while you're frozen in panic. Your crush shouldn't feel like a threat. They should feel like a possibility. And if they don't, that's your sign to reach out for support.